Today, we are answering the big question. To a business owner, is Manus worth $200 a month? Well, we're going to dive in and show you everything you need to know about whether Manus is right for you, some of the tasks that we use it for to make money, some of the different things that it can and can't do, and a couple of shockers that we found out along the way. So, Alina, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm really curious about this because I don't use Manus a lot. I've only used it for one big task and it didn't do well before. So it's really interesting to study what other people think and what functions are actually useful.
Okay, and what was the task? Was it like a content writing?
No, it was a VW Press City plugin.
Okay, so WordPress plugin. And yes, I found that it did kind of fail on creating codes and plugins. Some it did okay with, but multiple files, it kind of got confused. Okay, so let's go through, let's take a look at some of the updates, and we'll show you kind of some of the stuff that I've done. Alina can give some feedback on some of the new things I found, and we'll kind of show you an overview of what to do if you want to make money with Manus. So this is what the Manus main platform looks like. I found out that if you're at the top tier, they just keep giving you a bunch of credits. So I've only been a member for 3 months, which would mean I should have 19,000 times 3 or less than 60,000 credits. However, I've been using this like crazy and I still have 73,000.
Yeah, that means you got a lot of bonuses or something.
Yeah, I think it gives you like a bonus every day or something like that. So it's quite a bit. I never find myself running out. Add-on credits, I don't know what those are. Available for member only. So I don't think I pay for them. I think they're just like they added them on. Now, what I found here is Manus, the best task it can do, in my opinion, was going out there and creating bulk entry articles. So like if you wanted to say, okay, I want 100 articles, and we actually did this on my economics site, which you can go in here and you can do Site Economics Explainer, and you can see that they all got picked up by Google within like a couple of minutes, or a couple of days rather. And there was over 100 different ones that we had based on different economics terms. Now, when you go through Manus, it's not checking Grammarly, it's not doing anything fancy, it's just one pass AI as if you just went to ChatGPT and said, make an article.
That's nice. So it kind of does a big research for you, right?
Yes. So what I find is one of the things for bloggers, if you're a blogger and you want to make content at scale, the key would be use Manus to get the first pass of content. Then fire open your keyword tool, see what ranks, make those better. Then you know you're going to get ranked because it is ranking. And I actually found out some of them did rank right out of the get-go. I had one about, I think it was something like once in economics or something like that. Or was it human once in economics? And we went through and we actually started ranking #1. And this is straight out of Manus.
Wow.
And think about this though. I think it was 2003, the beginning of 2003 when AI was all getting hype. I had a friend who had an AI content business that was 100% AI. And they were charging up to $50 per article.
Wow.
With Manus, I mean, I do 100 for, I don't even miss the credits. I don't even think it's like 500 credits.
Okay, yeah,
and
that's
it's
nice.
Decent. Now, it doesn't do all the bells and whistles, but it is good for a first pass, see what ranks, and then dive deeper. Now, I also found that when you get something from Manus, you're actually getting
The file?
Yeah, you get like a bulk. So here's the 95 that are on that site. When you click view files in this task, it'll show you each one, or you could download all of them like this. But the cool thing is this, you can also bulk upload.
Yeah.
So it will understand, hey, here's 95 files, here's what I want to do with them.
Nice.
So that definitely takes the time out. And what I did is I said, okay, here's the 95 articles, now make video scripts out of them.
If I'm not mistaken, now ChatGPT is also capable of this, but it's a recent update, somewhat.
Okay, so it is able to take multiple files and do multiple...
I think it is able to archive multiple files.
Okay, cool. Nice. And I don't know if is it at the level of, yes, I can make 95 different, keep track of them?
No, not
okay.
at this level.
So it's not
just
like
generally
autonomous.
the file.
Got it. Okay, cool. So now one of the things that Manus came out with and hyped big time was video. And they were like, okay, we have the autonomous video generator. You give it 100 topics, go to the park, come back, you're going to have 95 videos. And I did that.
Okay.
You want to see what the video looked
Yes,
like?
totally.
Okay, so this was based on the cinematic video. This, I think it got confused, but it only did one. So it was herd mentality in economics. Have you heard of this?
Not really.
Like following the crowd. Everyone buys
yeah,
stock.
okay.
Everyone goes and buys stock. So that was the idea. It came up with the script. I gave it the script and said, make a video. The video did not have audio, and it looked like this. So it's about 23 seconds long. It doesn't really fit. So, I mean...
Yeah, and you can tell right away that it's AI.
Yes.
What
and
I
that
heard
was-
is people telling that Gemini is still better at this than Manus is. And also that Manus spends quite a lot of credits on creating this. Do you know how much?
Didn't check. That's a good question. Yeah, let's see if we can go into our credits here. So we had video,
Not many.
$269. That's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah,
Now,
that's like within the free trial one.
yes, and okay, so it's doubling them. Got it. Cool. So it doubles the credits,
Nice.
which I think is pretty cool. That makes it better because 19,000 was kind of like, come on, okay, I run out of those quick. Now with this, the video was useless. The report for the video, perfect. I could give this to VO3 and get something fantastic. So as far as using for videos, I didn't like it, although there is one cool thing that you can use this for video with, and that is the slideshows.
Oh yeah, this is the next one that I heard about.
This is where you could go through, you give it the 95 files. So you're like, hey, write 95 articles. Great, now here's the 95 articles, make me 95 slideshows. And then you can have it spit out audio for each one too. You could run that through 11 Labs and have a faceless video. And this I find is better because that video we saw, like, I don't think I could use that for anything. However, with this, you're getting a full-on why the crowd is always wrong about money and how to profit from it. It's got the quote again. I mean, this is stuff that you can even use as like blog articles. You could use it as faceless video content. And it's really good. Like, look at that Dow Jones Index monthly data showing like the boom and bust. And it even has the credit there. I mean, this to me, a lot of people are going to overlook this and not think about the power of having slideshows for things. But now we're like, okay, now we have the contrarian. It's got these charts. I mean, that's pretty solid. And having it for all 95, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And that's something, I don't know if the credits were a lot on that. Let's see if we could get this here. Slideshow, 809. So not too bad. That means you could
For
do...
all 90? Or just for one?
Oh, I think it was for all 90.
Huh.
Yeah, watch, view all files. Why the crowd? I know it did more. Because here they are. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Warren Buffett.
About 5 probably, right?
I think this was one. I believe. Let's see. Maybe this one. This is it. And I think it had a bunch of them. Okay, so that's articles. It looks like it stopped. But I had one where it had a bunch of slideshows. Presentation analysis. There was one, I had it yesterday. That's one of the things. With this, it wasn't that great of like archiving. Like here's all your saved stuff was kind of a pain.
How often do you actually see any failures or errors?
Recently, not so bad. When I was doing coding, all the time. Also, when you give it a task, like we gave it the domain task, and I wanted it to find out, okay, if you go to this domain, is there a placeholder? Is it not found? Or is it a website? About 5 domains in on my list of 2,000, it just started making up domains I didn't own. So that was kind of weird.
Yes, it also was a big problem. Maybe it seems to me like it got better, but generally it comes up with a lot of hallucination and different materials.
It did, and that's something you got to check, because it's like, okay, is this stuff master the essential building blocks? I think if I was a business owner and I had an outsourced employee, let's say I'm paying $200, $100 a week, and I gave them a $200 Manus subscription, I think that employee could get it a lot done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they could go through and be like, okay, let me fix up these. Because actually what I found out is you can download these as PowerPoint, and PowerPoint has
Like animations?
the Copilot. So I could actually have Copilot fix them up for me, which is cool because this is something where, you know, you can make like a pitch deck, you can make all kinds of things, but this here, okay, dollar cost averaging shows all that, which is cool. And then, you know, you get your files, which, I mean, if you had an outsourcer make 95 presentations based on 95 articles,
Yeah, that's going to take a
it's
while.
going to take them a month, you know? Whereas this is like, oh, now I can create that. And in PowerPoint, you have the recorder, so you could make that.
Yeah, my issue would be like to double check probably the information it's using.
And we could probably have it do that. I don't know if, let's see, fact check this, please. Let's see if it'll do that, because then, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, give this to the outsourcer. The outsourcer has the Copilot. Boom, here we go. Any content on the current slide or document that I can fact check. Okay, so it's having a little issue with it. Check the facts on the document, maybe. Same error? Yeah. So it's being a little wonky.
Yeah, it probably can check every page separately, I think.
Yeah, and you could probably look at like maybe go into regular, like if I'm over here, I could use another AI to fact check, or I could even say, now fact check these and show your work. And I could probably even say, now make voiceover scripts for each one. And it'll go through and do voiceover scripts. So it'll do a lot of the work of automating things for you. And I find that that is very helpful, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah, another thing I heard is like it's very good for complicated tasks, unless it runs an error or something. But not like ChatGPT, where you can just pretty much chat and ask simple questions every time.
Yeah. So tell me about like the more complicated stuff that you're finding. Like I think we had, what was it, like video generation. So turns a prompt into a storyboard, renders animated clips. Okay, generates a full slide deck. This is the one I like. Image generation. Okay.
Oh yeah, what about image generation?
Let's try it. I haven't tried that yet. So if we do new task, and that's the cool thing about this, is you can have like 15 tasks running at once.
Nice.
And detailed tasks. So that's pretty cool. I think for $200, if you're using this properly with maybe some oversight and using it to get that bulk research done or bulk images done or something like that, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
something like working on the background. Do you know how much time it took for it to create 90 articles?
It's about 3 hours, I believe. I wasn't sitting there the whole time, but I think it was about 3 hours.
Got it.
So make an infographic about financial terms, like herd mentality. Brand it with Economics Explainer. Let's brand it with our site. And we'll see if it does this. And what I want to do is give it that one and then come back and be like, now make 90 just like this. And let's see how this comes out. I don't know how the timing is. I know on ChatGPT, let's see how that looks. Make an
It's
infographic.
probably like a minute.
Probably. Let's see here.
Yeah, we'll see which is faster.
Yeah, it's like the race.
And the quality.
Yep. And this one actually, it's doing search, which is interesting. I like that you can see its computer because you kind of see what's going on.
Maybe that's what's like making tasks a little bit longer, but you can control over it more.
You're probably right. Yeah. So key points, .com bubble, prime example, how it works. And this, like that there, I could turn that into a blog post with ChatGPT, and now I have the image and the blog post. So, I mean, this is doing a lot more work, where this is just like, let me just make an image for
generating
you.
something.
Yes. This is like, I think you were too young to remember, but the internet when I was a kid, this is what it was like when you wanted to load an image. So you're on a site and you're like, what is it? So the tendency for investors to follow what other investors are doing rather than make it their own, FOMO, bubble, That's pretty cool.
Yes, that's not bad at all.
And it does have my site. That's cool.
Yeah,
People join
it's
it.
like a okay Pinterest pin, right?
Yeah, that would be straight up Pinterest. So this is still working. We're at 1 minute, 13 seconds so far.
But I like that it tries to rely on actual information. I'm curious about the final result because of that.
Yeah, and this is going to get up-to-date info too, where I think that was more conceptual based on what was in the database. This is probably like looking at, okay, that looks like pancakes on a circle pan.
What do you think about this theory that assumed like it's going to be information that was revised and rewritten
Like
a couple thousand amount of times on Google?
Like the dead internet theory?
Yeah.
I agree with it. There's a tool that we created, I think I showed you in the simple sites, where it searches pre-2022 Google. So you can find stuff before AI.
Yeah.
But yes, I do agree.
Yeah, that's going to be very useful, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you need something like very time sensitive.
Yeah, and we'll put that at AI Profit Scoop so you can demo it. That's a pretty cool tool, AIProfitScoop.com. Now, looking at this, I think, yes, it is going to be info about info, AI generated. So now it's searching images. So we're quite a couple minutes in creating. So now it's creating it. Upload, search. And it is on Ubuntu, which is the Linux platform, which is actually a good operating system. Like it's free and it's completely stable. I think that's what we put our Claude on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to revive our old Claude robot. He's just sitting over there in the other room doing nothing. He probably hears everything we say. He's going to come rolling out here. All right.
So it takes about 5 minutes probably, right?
Looks like it. So if I was going to do 90, 5 minutes each, 450 minutes.
Couple hours.
It's faster than an outsourcer. Yeah, and cheaper.
Yeah.
Definitely cheaper. Now you do have to look it over. Now it came up with a color palette. So one of the cool things about Manus, let's say you don't want to spend the $200. It's reverse engineering the prompt.
Depending on how much credits you want to spend? Or?
No, so I give it this task where I'm like, make these images. It's coming up with this entire style.
So you can use this prompt for later?
Exactly. So I can give that to one. Because one of the things I was testing is I was like, I wonder if we can get a prompt that would make the same person every time. Like, no differences. Like, this is what they look like. Because I tried it with me where I'm like, okay, this person, this look, everything like that. And it would be different each time.
Yeah, that sounds like impossible for me to have this type of consistency.
It does. But I think there's a way. There's got to be a way. Because I know, like, if you, back before it was regulated, you could just be like, make a cartoon Elon Musk, and it would do that. Now it's like, no. Although Grok would probably be like, so you want a picture of God? No, Grok, just because he created you doesn't. But yeah, looking at this is like pretty interesting. I like to see how AI thinks. I think in the world of AI, those who know how it thinks are those who will know how to prompt it and know how to correct it, which, I mean, AI corrector jobs is probably going to be the biggest job of our lifetime. So looking at that, simple showing eggs in multiple baskets. I mean, this does show a lot of stuff. So while we're waiting on that, let's take a look at some other stuff. Image generation, expanded credit tiers. So one free 300 a day, 1,000 at the 39.
Yeah, so it's basically like one task a day you can do. Even video, it seems like it, since it was under 300.
And I would think at 300 plus 1,000 bonus, so 3,900, 4,900 plus 10,000, 300 a day. I think most people can get by with the 39.
Yes, pretty much.
Like, I do pretty crazy amounts of big tasks, and my credits never go down. They're just going up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually didn't know they have the option of 39 now, because it was for a while that you only had the 200 one, right?
No, it was always 39. There was a free where you got 500 credits, 39, and then 199.
Okay.
Yeah. The 39, I burned through those credits the day I got it.
Got it.
So it was pretty quick. But then again, I didn't know what I wanted. I was just testing it out. So here we see a lot of people are saying user agent,
like
heavy credit burn.
Yeah.
I think that's addressed. I think they addressed it by giving you more credits.
Yes, by these bonuses, it's probably better. Maybe that's why they started giving them out.
That could be. And I think that's good because, I mean, if I can do 100 articles a day, that's 3,000 articles. And again, don't use it to spam. Make good stuff. Make it unique. Have that prompt in there that's going to be like, oh, add this thing. Like with mine, I didn't just do define the terms. I did find the economic lesson. So stuff like that would work. It's worth it. Does this guy say flashy but mid-tier?
About the video quality, yeah.
Oh, the video quality I think is terrible. If I bought this at $200 and just got it for the video, because like that's why I upgraded my ChatGPT was for the video, I'm happy with that video. That's why I'm still at 200 over there. Google's Gemini Veo 3, as far as video goes, just wipes the floor with everything else. It's incredible. But it's only 8 seconds. So if you wanted to do a 10-minute video, you're going to be sitting there all day.
Yes, totally.
So interesting there. Going through, let's see here, scrape, script, write. So a lot of, in the age of AI, a lot of people are talking about web scraping, which is what you were talking about. So AI is scraping the web to scrape the web for stuff it already scraped and already made content about, this is why you need to be unique.
Yeah.
You know, like scraping it's kind of unethical, even though ChatGPT and these other AIs just didn't ask. They just went and scraped. And now they're like, don't you scrape. We can, because we have billions, but you cannot. No. So it's interesting. Eminem, you know, the rapper Eminem, he came out with a lawsuit yesterday, I think it was, where he's suing the Meta's AI for using his songs without permission, which is interesting. It's like, okay. I think it was, I don't know if he's suing the AI or just Meta itself, but you're going to see a lot of that happen. Let's see, 85% on the, whatever that benchmark is, multi-tool task, warns of slower and resource heavy. So what I see here, a lot of people complain about slow, bulky credits, kind of wonky. They're missing the point entirely.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be this way. Again, it gives you more control over what's going on, and it does minimal research or even like a bigger research for every task it does. So if it actually follows the information accurately, it's totally worth it.
I mean, what I got here was worth the 7 minutes versus the other one. And here's the deal. With ChatGPT, like, let's face it, we all have ADHD. That's just what the internet did to us. I'm creating infographics in ChatGPT. A thing comes up and is like, Bob responded to your Facebook. Now I'm over on Facebook. I completely forget about the image I made. And now I'm on to some other task that Bob was talking about. And I completely forget what I was doing. Manus is like, no, now, like watch this. We'll go through, we'll do the 95, and I'll get that initial list I had, which is up here somewhere. Okay, so here's our initial list. Watch this. And it'll probably burn through a crap ton of credits, but I don't care because I want the output. I'm not going to get distracted. At the end of the day, I will have 95 Pinterest pins, infographics, whereas before I just had distraction in one.
Yes, I would prefer quality over the time for sure.
And let's take a look. So from your thought process, the quality here sucks. That's terrible. So it did not get it on the quality. Like the words are, this is like ChatGPT 3.
Yeah, there's a struggle with the word generation on the picture.
That was difficult. This definitely was better. It's interesting how they both thought the same color scheme.
Yes.
I don't know if they got
this
it
is the
from...
most popular in the topic.
Yeah, I don't know if they got it from mine or what they got it from. Let's see. Now, can you do one for all of these? Let's see.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is. I noticed one time I was able to do like 6 or 7 at a time, but that was like...
Yeah, it will probably stop after some amount of them and ask you if you want further.
You could probably have Manus go into your ChatGPT and be like, when he's done, just type keep going.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like, I think it's a preference at this point. Like, do you want to get back and have control over what it's done and like, should it continue? Or do you want it to run on the background by itself? Pretty much.
This actually was bad. Okay, so he got that from, I don't know where he got that. He's got like, oh, that's mine. Okay, so this is on my computer. Got it. That's better than the one it finalized. I like that it gave us multiples. Let's see, this one, pre-retirement for Canadians. Okay, so that's just what it found.
Yeah, at all.
Got it. Okay. You know, so if I was going to do infographics, I would give it that big list and I would have it make one slide for each. And I'd use that slide as an infographic because it's not going to get that wrong because that has text.
Slides seem to be better than the actual image generation.
So if I did that,
I think that's a problem that people complain about, that you get all this time and sometimes don't get good results from it.
Yeah. I mean, there are articles, 100%. I'm using them. They're working. They're ranking. One good slide for each of these, and I could put 95 in all and see what happens. That should do it, and it should understand PowerPoint, and we should get a preview pretty quick. Because if I could do that and screenshot it, then we're good. And I can even say, do a 9 by 16, I think it is. Is that the phone size? I could do that, and then it would be, Instagram size or something like that. However, I think for this...
Yeah, we got all of one. Yeah.
You know what that is? It's like financial bingo.
Yeah.
It's like a bingo. You're like, hey, I got intrinsic value. And economic...
You got something else.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. So there you go. Come on down and play financial bingo. That's funny. I don't know what a SFORF is, but apparently you got to get a SFORF. But yeah, I think articles is the key. Maybe even checklists, like make 100 checklists for this niche. Maybe even writing certain code programs. Like,
yeah, did you try that?
I've tried some codes. Let's make a script. Or actually, you know what this would be fantastic for? If I gave it one of my, like an order form or something and said, make this for these 100 different products. That could be good. That way you wouldn't have to make it yourself. But yeah, you could do like make a script for digital products using PayPal as processor. And it would do something like that, and it'll make the full script, which can work because scripts are pretty simple. You'd have to test it. This will involve setting up a complete payment flow for digital goods delivery, which should be easy. It's like an IPN, I think. And then let's see. So it's doing the voiceovers. It is definitely slow, but you get.
I think that voiceovers it did in the text files.
Okay, let's see. So voiceovers.
Yeah, it looks like a text file.
Okay, script. Okay, so script. Voiceover script, financial fundamentals, presentation. Whoa, that's huge. Wow. So that's like a full webinar. Like I got a webinar here.
Yeah, it seems to be best at writing like articles and any kind of texts, pretty much.
Especially when it's like, and sell it for. It's like, oh, like, that pays. It's weird that it does that. I wonder why. Why would it do that? Because it's almost like that's a completely different font.
Yes.
Maybe because whatever it read that had that font.
Maybe there was a link or something.
Yeah. And I think, if anything, it's worth $200 to get Manus to see how AI thinks. Like, that is totally worth it. Because that's a skill set you're going to need.
Yeah, and I would say if you work with, like, any text creation, that's probably worth it either.
Agreed. Okay, so now we got the slides. There. That's an infographic.
Better than infographic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I can just brand it. That's really cool. And now I could do, like if I wanted to do a giant video of 95 financial terms, boom, done. I like this.
Yes, pretty much.
That and the article writing and all of this stuff combined, video, no, I don't need it for that. The slides, the infographic, no.
Yeah.
Text, coding,
slides.
And this, I think, is on point.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Cool. What are your thoughts? I know you've messed around with it a little bit. Did you like it, or were you like, no, I don't like this one?
No, at first I didn't like it, again, because for complicated tasks that I was trying to use it for, it did run through a lot of mistakes and was unable to finish it. So I guess I was just switching to the something I'm used to all the other AIs in these terms. But I like the idea of like a bulk content creation that you can do in Manus.
Yeah, me too.
It's totally unique.
And a bulk scripts. Like I can make scripts, I can do all kinds of things. Also like variations. A lot of people don't think about, oh, sometimes you would need a variation of something. Like make this checklist, now make it for all of these different niches. Now I have a checklist directory site, boom, I'm in business.
So far I see like the problems that people mention are the time. It's time consuming. High crash rate, that's what stopped me from using it more. And then heavy credit usage was already addressed, so it's not the issue, I guess.
Yeah.
And I also see that the creative outputs are often generic. Have you ever faced this problem?
I don't know.
I think we haven't used it for anything creative, mostly for like financial articles and everything.
Yeah, and then, so you used it, how long ago was it that you did the...
Probably a month ago.
I think the error stuff has fixed. I've noticed that
I think
lately
it's better.
It's been pretty cool. Like I haven't gotten that many. Before I did. All right, so keep alternate models. Like use what you need for what you need. I find coding, Gemini and Claude, top tier. Like ChatGPT is okay. Gemini is, you code stuff, you get no error. It's just there it is, it works. Bolt is okay for some certain codes. Just looking at what you want to use and why. I think if someone wanted to start a freelance business, or like right now, the CEO of Fiverr is like, y'all need to find a new job. He's basically all in on AI. And what's going to happen is a lot of small freelance people are going to pop up. This is a tool where if you were going to freelance, now you can do the job of 10 people versus one person.
Yeah, it certainly affects the speed of task finishing.
And also, as a business person, so many people ask, is Manus worth $200? That's the wrong question. The question is, how do I make more than $200 having Manus? And the answer, I think content alone, scripts alone, the writing, the slides, totally worth it.
Yes.
You know, because I pay outsourcers.
Especially the slides. The slides are very impressive.
The slides are very impressive. That alone, for me as a business person, that alone is worth $200. Because I'm like, okay, I could spit these out. I could give these to an outsourcer. So like, let's say Economics Explainer. I could give that to one of my outsourcers and be like, hey, go into my Manus, get all this stuff, put it all together. Then also put it on a Pinterest. Like I had a 100% hands-off Pinterest I had an employee run. I gave her 3 topics for ideas. She found the rest. She grew it up to like 15,000 views a month. It generated leads, it made sales, and it was all completely hands-off. And I think it still gets traffic today, although she hasn't touched it in years. But yeah, looking at this is pretty cool. And you can even tell it like what color schemes you want. So yeah, and it's still going, which is cool. So I think, yes, the verdict is in. I think it's definitely, if you can find a way to make you more than 200, of course it's worth it.
Yeah, totally.
All right, cool. So check out the notes from this video over at aiprofitscoop.com. You can also join the AI Profit Scoop, where we have several calls a week. Alina's got a bunch of videos on how to do vibe coding and all kinds of AI stuff to help you understand how to navigate the world of making money with AI. This is something that is here to stay. If you don't learn it now, prepare for retirement, because this is the way of the future. If you're not learning these little nuances and intricacies of how to work with AI, it's going to be tough to compete going ahead. So whether you join it to make money online, or whether you join AI Profit Scoop just to learn how AI works and glean from people who use this pretty much all day, every day, I think it's definitely worth your time and your money. So check out the links in the description below to join AI Profit Scoop. Also check out the videos below on other AI tools, and go forth and use them to make money. See you guys in the next video.
See you in the next one.